Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, good morning to you. Good morning to you. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to another Me First Morning. I am your host, Patricia Romero Wolfson. I'm an intuitive coach and an energy healer, a wife, and a mom of 3 boys. And my mission is to teach you how to, number 1, calibrate your energy. Number 2, how to integrate self-care into easy and doable steps. It is possible. And number 3, how to embrace your own natural gifts to achieve a life you love. Now, that all sounds very simple, like 1, 2, 3 steps, right? But it can be super challenging. And that's why today we are going to talk about how to make lasting changes in your life. Using the techniques that I talk about on this show, we're going to calibrate our energy, one action, one choice, one step at a time. And we're going to talk about that today. So stick around for that. In the meantime, if you're watching the show, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go to Jumpstart for Change, press subscribe to that YouTube channel, and then ding the bell, and you'll be notified when I'm doing a live. So simple, just ABC. That's right, babe. Thanks for watching. Yay! That's my honey, Eggs McManus, watching right now. So yes, please go ahead and subscribe. Do that right now. I would really appreciate it. And in the meantime, we are going to get started with our day because this is a really great topic. I'm really excited to talk about this because we hear about people like making changes, or there are changes to be made, or if you're in the personal development industry, there's always talk about healing and more healing and, all these like dark nights of the soul and then some more healing. And you're like, how do you do this healing, right? Healing is not a passive activity. Healing is an active activity, except it is active in the sense of you have to consistently be working at it and be present. You don't have to be consistently working at it, but healing is more of taking action. And so we're going to talk about exactly how to heal, how to shift, and how to do that with everyday decisions and everyday actions. Okay, so what we're going to do first is our usual Me First Morning ritual, and we're just going to get ourselves started and centered into our beings, and we're going to put out our intentions for the day, because that is one of the most important things I think you can do each day, is just get yourself centered. Check in with your higher self, do some breathing, and just like really tune in and set your intention for the day. And that way, when you go out into the world, you are going out into the world very clear on your vibration, very clear on your intentions, and very clear on how you are going to participate with the world today, right? And so that means whatever external forces you may be faced with, whether it's people or places or situations or whatever's going on in your life, you are going to first filter it through those intentions, right? When you're addressing something, if you can. Some days you can't do this, right? But that's the intention. That's the idea. When we set the intention, the idea is that we always want to go back to that intention as we go through our day, and as we encounter other stimulus or stimuli that might, make you go in a different direction. Or when you meet somebody and they're all in their chaos, you don't want to take that chaos on. You want to stay grounded and centered in your energy, and perhaps even influence the person who's in chaos to relax a little bit more, or to kind of mesh with your energy and help them deal with their chaos in a more, productive way. Okay, so let's just start. So let's start by lighting our candle. Here we go. So this is my candle. Sometimes you forget you're awesome. May this be your reminder. I love it. Well, it says this is your reminder, but whatever. Okay, so we're going to light our candle, and this just begins our ritual. It's a way to sort of signal to your brain we're starting. It's also a way to start a nice, sort of sacred ritual. And the candle lighting, there is a purpose to it. And the purpose is to begin the ritual. It's to sort of make it a little bit more sacred, and also to focus your energy. If you feel that you're scattered or like you're kind of all over the place, if you just stare at the candle flame for a little bit once you light it, it will really help kind of tune you in to the power of the flame. And when you're able to do that, you can kind of shut off that excitable energy, right? That energy, that excess energy that sometimes we have, even if you've just woken up. I mean, I woke up, a few hours ago, and I've been go, go, go since I got up. But that's what happens, right? We like jump out of bed. We like make sure that the kids are ready for school. Well, that's my life. We get everybody out of the house, and then it's like, okay, now let's focus on me. Even though the show is me first, the truth is my kids are always first in the morning because I have to get them out of the house. So now we take our time to do this together. All right, so let's get some essential oils. We lit the candle. We have our essential oils. Oh my God, guys, it's like last. I keep like doing this, but I know more's coming. Good. Okay, so we have our essential oils. Feel free to grab a crystal or not. I like to use my clear crystal quartz spheres when I am doing my deep breathing exercises. I find that it just helps me focus a little bit because I kind of like the feel of, these crystal spheres in my hand. Like I like the sort of like feeling that I get of just being able to feel the weight, and it helps me to focus on something other than my brain and all the things going on in my head. Because there's always a lot going on in my head. All right, so deep breath in. And as you take your deep breath in, I want you to imagine the top of your head is just opening up and receiving liquid sunlight, okay? Liquid sunshine just pouring into your head. And it's just this beautiful, brilliant white light. And it is a healing light. And that's going to go in the top of your head and your feet well planted on the ground. I want you to imagine also that you are soaking up all of the beautiful life force energy that the earth has to offer. So just as the earth, fuels the flowers that kind of come budding through the ground, I like to imagine this. Imagine that same life force energy going up your legs and through your body, and allow the energies to meet wherever they meet, right? Because you're pouring in through the head and you're bringing up from the earth. And allow the energies to meet and blend and just go and permeate every single cell in your body. And that powerful healing energy and that powerful healing light from the heavens are just going to blast away and dissolve anything that doesn't serve you. Any stuck, stagnant, or dense energy, just going to break it apart. And then when you exhale, you're going to release it. Okay, so let's do that together. Deep breath in and hold. And release. Okay, that felt good. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath in. And imagine the powerful healing life force energy from the heavens and from the earth blending in your body and just breaking apart any stuck, stagnant energy. And now release. Removing anything that doesn't serve you from your body. And let's do that one more time, okay? Deep breath in and make it count, right? We want to really increase that capacity to receive breath, the capacity to receive life force energy. We want to increase it. So I want you to really stretch out your lungs and take in as much air as possible. Okay, let's do that together. And hold. And release. Beautiful. Okay, now we do a little stretching. So I like to always start with my head because that's the most obvious here. That's the part you see the most. Although we could do the arms as well. I like to do the arms. But where I carry most of my tension is kind of in the back of the neck and the back of the neck and sort of my upper back area. So that's where I do most of my stretching. If you're doing this at home and on your own and you want this to last a little bit longer, then feel free to do either yoga or a stretching sort of routine and get every single part of your body if you can. But as you guys know, I'm all about quick, fast, not too long. Let's get it done in order for us to, get the most, maximize the impact of minimal time spent, right? So it really is intention and intensity to a certain extent that will help in this sense. Oh, yep. All right. So once you're done the stretching, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. If you have a dog, you know that they do this when they're trying to like shift their energy and shake off the old stuff, right? That's what you want to do. You want to shake off any stuck energy. You want to get things flowing, right? Any stiffness you want to release, okay? So we just release it and shake it out, okay? Beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me for that. And now, let us set our intentions, okay? So, how do we do this? How do we set our intentions? Well, if you have not yet downloaded your free GPS workbook, go ahead and do that now. You don't have to fill out the workbook in the moment, but you are welcome to do so if you really want to get clarity on your GPS word, which we talk about a lot on this show. And what the GPS word is, if you're watching, is just a word, a phrase. It's basically something that you can refer to bring you back to your home base. Like, what do you want to feel like? Where do you kind of want to position yourself energetically, right? How do you want to feel? What do you want to accomplish? But more importantly, how do you want to feel, or how do you want to feel when you accomplish those things, right? Because that's really the focus. It's the feeling. Because we can say, oh, I want to accomplish something, or I want to have a productive day. But at the end of the day, a productive day may mean different things to different people. A productive day for one person may be getting a lot of work done. A productive day for somebody else may be doing a lot of healing work. We don't know, right? So you decide what you want from your day and take this moment to just set the intention of what you want to bring into your day. And if you already have a GPS word or a sentence or phrase or even a song, you can, sort of use that as your intention as we say a prayer and ask for the spirit guides and the beings of pure white light to support you and me and anyone else setting their intentions to sort of step into those intentions and to get help in embodying those intentions throughout the day. Because of course, if you can capture that feeling, if you can embody that feeling, well, then you are more likely to experience that feeling. And then you will be even more likely to bring about that feeling more often in your life. And that's really the plan, right? If you want to feel peace in your life and you can come up with peaceful solutions to whatever is going on in your life, or you can create peace as much as possible in your life. Well, guess what? The more you create peace, the more peace you will feel. The more you create spaciousness, the more spaciousness you will feel, right? The more you create abundance, the more abundance you will feel. And I know, right? If you're thinking abundance, you're like, yeah, sure, more money creates money. Like, no kidding, right? But abundance is not just about money. Just like, productivity is not just about doing things. It's about how you feel. Sorry, my phone was ringing. Just had to check it was not the school and it's not. Yay. Okay. All right. So let us set our intentions. Let us say our prayer. And then I will pull a card for us. And then we're going to talk about how to make lasting changes in your life. Okay. So let's say our prayer. And, this is just a prayer that I made up. I am, it just comes from the heart. If it resonates with you, awesome. If it doesn't, you can say your own prayer or you can sit silently, whatever you want. All right, here we go. Divine Mother, Infinite Father, Creator, Ascended Masters, Archangels, Spirit Guides, Ancestors, and all beings of 100% pure white light, allow me to be a clear and open channel of your light and love without hesitation or ego. May the highest vibration of infinite consciousness connect with my higher self and release any and all things that no longer serve me. I ask that Saint Germain and his infinitely powerful violet flame burn away the things that no longer serve myself or humanity and hold us back from our divine existence. Help us to embody our intentions for the day and help us raise the collective vibration for the highest and greatest good of all. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So be it, and so it is. Oh, that feels so good. All right, let's pull a card. All right. Say hi if you're watching. If you're watching the replay, say hi, #replay. Or don't say anything. That's okay too. I don't mind. You guys can just what's it called? not trolling. Trolling sounds so negative. You can lurk in the background and watch me in the background. That's okay. I do that too sometimes when I'm watching people and they don't know I'm watching. And that's the thing, guys. Never underestimate the potential of your impact when you show up. That's not just showing up online. I'm talking about online because, I am online, but in your life, just showing up in your life and saying a kind word or smiling at somebody or, just supporting people in whatever way that you can, being the light that shines, right? That's really what it's about. Just being a bright light can impact so many people. You can be the beacon that people look at. You can be the lighthouse for other people where, you stand strong just sharing your light and people can be like, hey, I don't know what's going on in my own life, but I see a lighthouse standing there. And if there's a lighthouse there, it means there's light. And so all is not lost, right? And I am not lost. So that's really sort of the inspiration behind what I do. Is my goal is to help everyone shine their light, right? And really see how you are a lighthouse. Each one of us are lighthouses. We may not realize that, but we are lighthouses for the people around us, for our family, for our friends, for our community, anyone that we have access to. And if there's a lighthouse in every community, in fact, if there's several lighthouses in every community, then you can't get lost, right? You can always find your way. You can always find the light. And that's the most important thing, is for us to be able to connect with that light within. And showing your own light helps others connect with their own light and also shines the light on them when they can't find it for themselves. Right? That's the whole point of light. Is that the whole point of light? I don't even know what I'm saying some days. Okay. Sorry, I'm feeling some pain in my back. And so I need to release it and breathe through it. Whew. I think that's just energy moving through me. And hopefully energy is moving through you too, because that's what we do. All right. So I'm going to pull a card and let's talk about the things that we can do to make lasting changes. Now, this is something actually that I talk about every single day. And that is small incremental changes in our life will really make lasting impact. And, sometimes that's hard to make those small incremental changes, because what it means is we're interrupting patterns. We are interrupting patterns that we have had pretty solidly in our life for many, many years, whether those patterns were instilled in us by our family or by school or by society. The limiting beliefs that we've inherited from, again, our friends, family, society, our generational wounds, right? We carry those things with us. It can be super, super challenging. And you may not even notice that you haven't done things differently. Like sometimes, people set out to make changes in their life. And at the end of the day, they don't realize, or sometimes we don't realize, and I like to include myself because this happens to me too, where you make all these changes, but you don't actually see results. And then you get frustrated and be like, well, maybe, that kind of life is just not for me. Maybe, I don't deserve healing, or maybe there's too much to heal, or the generational wounds are too much, or, the circumstances in my life are too heavy, or, the structural systemic, situation, right, is holding you back, right? In many people's cases, that's the case, especially if you are, I was going to say minority, but it's not a minority really, but if you are in a community that typically does not receive, the same benefits as the white community, for example, it can be really difficult and look at things and be like, it's just not that easy. It's just not that easy to change. It's just not easy to change the system. And you're right, it's not easy to change the system. And we have to constantly work at making things more equitable, and we have to constantly work at, changing the system. And all of that is true. And what is also true is that the number one thing you need to do is work on yourself. And that is how to open yourself up and how to make changes that are going to impact your life and the life of those around you more and more each and every day. And how you do that is by, I was going to say micromanaging, but that feels like so heavy, but it kind of is, where it's like you're micromanaging your decisions in your life, right? You really have to pay attention. So I'm not going to say micromanaging because, like I said, that feels heavy, but there is an aspect of awareness, and it's becoming aware of where your patterns exist. It's becoming aware of where you are not, you are not making the choices that connect with your GPS word or feeling, right? Like, so, and we've talked about this on the show many, many times, but I just want to reiterate again. And if you are making choices in your life that do not coincide with your GPS coordinates, right? The feeling that you want to embody each and every day, or the feeling that you want to embody, or that you think you will embody when you have all the things that you want, if you can't tap into that feeling in the moment, if you can't tap into that feeling right now, it is really hard for you to develop that feeling in the future. You have to build it yourself. You have to get yourself there, shifting one way or another, right? You are the one that has to evolve into that, right vibration or right frequency. And when I say right, I don't mean it is right and other ones are wrong. I mean right for you. What is the frequency that you want to vibrate? Where are the things that you want in your life? And where in the vibrational, where are in the terms in terms of the vibrational frequency. Okay, guys, just bear with me. That frequency that you hit, right, that you want to feel, that's where all the other things you want are, because the frequency of freedom, abundance, peace, whatever it is that you're looking for, has all the other things that you want. And so if you are not seeing in your life evidence of that frequency being possible, or evidence of that feeling being possible, like, for example, you are looking for abundance and you're like, I just want to feel abundant, but you feel lack in every moment of your life and you're unable to appreciate any little thing that happens in your life, well, then you cannot feel the frequency of abundance when you are vibrating in the frequency of lack. It's just a completely different frequency. And if frequency is too confusing, you can go to any other of my analogies, right? Which is, one of them is the radio station, which is not necessarily my analogy, but a very good analogy that I use all the time, which is like, if the frequency of how you want to feel is like 101.2 and the frequency of how you do feel is like 87.5, well, then never those two shall meet, right? It's completely different frequencies. So what you have to do is you have to tune your station to meet this frequency, right? So how do you do that? How do you do that? You do that by being aware of your choices. You do that by being aware of the voices, right? Being aware of your choices and being aware of your voices. I just made that up, but I love it. Okay. Because when you're aware of your choices, right, then you're looking at the choices and saying, does this choice bring me closer to what I want or further, right? If I'm looking for abundance and you're making a decision that is in lack, right? If the choice you're making comes from lack, it will be very difficult for you to achieve abundance when you're making a choice from lack, right? But if you're able to shift and feel abundant and then make a choice moving closer to abundance, then you kind of open up the ability to tune to that frequency, because you're no longer stopping yourself, right? You're like, okay, I'm moving closer. And that's the idea. You don't just like one day you're in abundance and one day you're in lack, or vice versa. There is incremental changes that you can make along the way. So I said that I was going to share a three-step system. Three questions that you could ask yourself if you're in a situation where you feel, maybe it's unhappy or unsatisfied, or, things are not going the way you want in your life. And you're like, what can I do to make changes? What can I do to shift this? So here are the three questions that I'm going to share with you. Okay. I'm going to share these three questions and then I'll pull the card. I haven't pulled the card yet, right? Okay, so hold on, just because I want to show you. So the first question, oh my God, guys, I spelled the word wrong and I can't even. Did I? Okay, well, it doesn't matter now. All right. Just follow me. Bum, 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 bum. All right, so the first question is, what boundary do I need to set here, right? So if there's something going on in your life, maybe you're in a relationship with somebody, or there's someone in your life who just doesn't treat you right. Maybe it's a relationship that you can't eliminate. It's like family or an ex and you have children together or something. So it's someone you can't just cut off, right? So when you can't cut that off, most people are like, well, I can't change the situation. This person's in my life and I guess I just have to suffer. Well, yes and no, right? You don't have to suffer anything. What you need to do is ask yourself this very important question. What boundary do I need to set here, right? What boundary do you need to set? So if you have a toxic person in your life, or you have a relationship in your life where someone is constantly either triggering you or mistreating you, you have to put yourself in a position where they do not get full access to you, okay? Because if they have full access to you and your energy, then basically they control you, right? And you don't want people controlling you or your energy. You want to have control of your energy as much as possible. You want to set the tone. So you need to ask yourself, what boundary do I need to set here? Do you need to, put a boundary where you can only see that person under certain circumstances, where you have to explain to that person any conversation where I feel like you are attacking me will end the discussion and we'll have to come back at another time, or whatever. I mean, I'm making stuff up because I don't know the specific situation, but what I'm letting you know is it's extremely important that if you have a situation or a person in your life that you are not happy with, that you are dissatisfied with, that you are like, this is not working for me, the first step that you have to put out there is, what boundary do I need to set here? I'll give you an even super easy example. Social media, right? Everybody, we all have a toxic relationship with social media, right? You're scrolling, you get nothing done. 2 hours later, you're like, what the hell, right? What's the boundary you need to set, right? Maybe you need a schedule for your social media. Between 10 and 11, I will scroll, right? And then I'm done. And then you need to keep that promise, right? And that goes with any boundary that you set, then you need to enforce it. No matter what, just keep going back to it, just like with kids. If you give them, a consequence, then you have to stick to that consequence. Because if you don't stick to that consequence, then they know they can get away with anything. And the same thing, that is the same energy for any person, place, or thing or experience that you are having in your life. If you do not set the boundary, or worse, if you set the boundary but don't enforce it, then nothing can change, because you are allowing the energy to enter into your energetic field and manipulate the energy in your field. So if you do not want to expose yourself to someone else's negative, someone else's energy that doesn't mesh. I don't like saying negative, okay? Someone else's energy that doesn't work for you, that isn't meshing with you, then you have to set a boundary. Okay, so that's number one. And number two, guys, I'm totally I've been going over lately. I apologize, but I'm really grateful that you guys stick around. Okay, so the next one, okay, we'll take that one out, is this. Next step. What action can I take? Okay, so you set a boundary, right? But then there could be an action you need to take, right? There could be, a phone call you need to make, a contract you need to sign, write up, an agreement you need to make if it's somebody in your life or a situation. There are, and I say, and I have it in capitals, what action can I take? Right? Because there's going to be actions you want to take, but you might not be in a position to take it, or it's not something that's in your control. So you're like, well, I'll take, I would love to take the action of pounding the crap out of this person who's pissing me off. Well, you can take that action, but then you need to ask yourself the most important question before you take that action, okay? I want you to think about the action or actions that you can take to change your situation. But once you are done thinking about that action, you need to think of this question right here. Does my action align with my GPS coordinates? That's super important. One more time. Does my action align with my GPS coordinates? So if your GPS coordinate word is peace, right? And you want more peace into your life, and you're having an issue with, an ex or, a relationship that, is toxic, but that you need to sort of keep in your life for one reason or another, right? You need to set the boundaries and you need to take action, right? But you need to make sure that that action aligns with your coordinates. Because if you have this toxic relationship and your word is peace, then you need to come up with a peaceful solution, right? You set your boundaries, and the boundaries don't necessarily need to be like peaceful boundaries. Like, set the boundaries that you need, right? It's like you put the fortress up, right? And when you open the door and let the person in, it's on your terms. It's your rules. You rule your energetic field. So you need to make sure that anyone or anything in your life knows without a shadow of a doubt that this is your domain, and you will not be shaken from that domain, right? You will not be manipulated. You will not be controlled, and only you can manage your energy, right? Nobody else, but you have to take control in order to do that. And in order for you to keep shifting in the direction that you want to shift, you have to make sure that your actions connect with your GPS coordinates. So as I said, if you're choosing peace, you cannot beat the crap out of somebody, okay? It just does not coincide with your GPS coordinates, right? And if you want abundance, and abundance is your GPS coordinates, then any choice that you make cannot be in lack, as I said, right? It has to be made from a place of abundance. So even if you need to imagine, if I had all the money I wanted in the world, if I had everything I needed in my life, how would I make this decision? How would my decision change? What action would I take confidently? Right? And that is what you need to implement more into your life, is like, when you have the energy of everything that you want, that energy is what you need to bring into the present and be like, if I had everything I wanted, how would I deal with this situation? If I had everything I wanted, how would I deal with this person? How would I deal with this situation? What actions would I take if I already had everything I wanted? And that can really, really change how you look at things. Oh, it's okay, Mom. No problem. All right, so I'm going to pull the card. And I hope that was helpful. I hope that, those little questions were helpful. Feel free to reach out to me if you need some more support when you are making these shifts and changes, because sometimes we all need a little hand-holding, right? When we're making big changes and big transitions in our life, when we're truly going through transformation, which I think everybody right now is, you might need a little love and support. You might need someone to reflect back to you all the amazing things that you've already done, to help you see how much clarity you already have, to help you see how far you've already come. Well, then, that's when you can use a coach. You can go to, any professional, or, sure, you could use your friends too. But when it comes to really big transformation and changes, it's always good to do it with a professional who can help you shift things and move things along. Now, I'm not necessarily saying me, but I am available. I got a couple spots. If you are interested, I will, just reach out to me in private message, and I'll let you know what I have available for you. All right, here's the card. Boom. All right, look at this, guys. Look at this card. It's unbelievable. It's number 30, and it's called Making a Choice. Guys, literally, we're talking about choices here, and it's making a choice, right? And it was upside down, right? So that tells me that this is all about the choices that you're making. And are you really making the choices that are in your best interest? Are you making the choices that connect with your personal evolution, right? And you need to think about that for yourself. And you need to make a choice. Make no mistake that you cannot wishy-washy your way through this transitional period in life. Now, I say this transitional period because I kind of like fly by the seat of my pants in every part of my life, but there is an energy happening right now universally, where everything is coming to the surface. You cannot hide. You cannot hide from your old patterns. You cannot hide from your limiting beliefs. You cannot hide from any stickiness, energetic stickiness that exists in your life. Everything is coming to the surface, and people are having real situations happen, things are happening in their life, traumas, experiences, crazy news. Believe me, everybody that I've spoken to is going through this because it is time for us to release all of the crap, all of the BS, all of the things that don't serve us. And you can no longer sit by idly and just sit on the fence and see where things blow. You need to make a choice of how you want to live your life. And right now, we are in the energy that the universe will help us. Whatever it is that you decide right now, you will be propelled towards that thing when you make a definitive and clear choice. But if your choices are muddy, or if you're going back and forth and really wobbly, you're going to get a whole load of things that you're like, what does all of this mean? Why am I being faced with all these things? Because clarity is key. And consistency is key, right? Clarity and consistency. And if you don't have clarity, well, then you can't be consistent, right? Because if you're not sure what you're doing, how can you consistently do something? But what I can tell you is one way to get that clarity is to really choose that GPS word, decide what you want out of your life, and then every single choice you make has to connect to what you want. It has to connect energetically. It has to connect to the feeling, right? So even if you're faced with an opportunity that doesn't sound like it's connected at all to what you want in the future, if it brings you the feeling that you want in the future, right? Like, let's say something out of left field comes over to you and says, hey, this is a great opportunity. Do you want to do this? And you're like, wow, I really didn't think that this was going to be an option or an opportunity. And I don't really know if this is going to get me to where I need to go, but it sounds so exciting. And I love the people who are asking me to participate. I'm going to say yes. And you say yes to the things that connect with your GPS coordinates. Whether or not you see a clear path to what you want your destination to be, if you consistently follow your GPS, if you consistently follow that feeling that you want to embody every single day and you create that feeling, well, then it's not going to matter what happens in the future, because you're going to be creating it and living it from that place that you've chosen your life exists in, right? Like, you choose where and how you get that joy and you get that fulfillment. And that's how you're going to do it, is by making sure that every single choice, every single idea, all the people you hang out with, all connect with those coordinates that you have. Because the more you can bring that energy into your life, the more likely you are to maintain that energy and get everything that you imagine, which is also connected to that energy. Okay, that's today's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I am so grateful to be here. I'm here every Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you can find me on YouTube. Don't forget to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to Jumpstart for Change. And make sure you spread the word to your friends if you think that, maybe the show can help. I really, really appreciate you and appreciate your time. Thank you for joining me. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.